All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to first stream in a while. Haven't done one since last year. Today we're going to be editing film from China, the one I've been posting about a lot lately. So it's unfortunate AccuAir has gone out of business, but there's a lot of content that I worked with on them. And we're going to get started on that. Got to work out a few kinks. I'm trying to figure this out as we go. All right. Should probably stop watching the own stream. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Bear with me. Yes, the cat is here, sleeping. She's knocked out, but she'll probably wake up around like midnight and then go insane like cats do. All right, let's jump into it. I'm going to start by just showing you guys the intro scene before the film comes out on Friday next week, and then we are going to re-edit one of the scenes here. Yes, we're going to re-edit this scene because wasn't too crazy about the music that I was using beforehand. It's not really my style now, so we're gonna have to re-edit it to this music here. Let me know how the audio quality is. If I need to turn the mic up, you let me know. My hair's sticking up. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I haven't gotten a haircut in weeks, as most people have, so bear with me on the hair. How's everybody doing? It's not fake. Cat is not fake. All right. There we go. Okay. We're going to get started on it now. Here we go. Let me make this full screen for you. Let me just render it out, actually. Wait, we don't drop any frames. Hello, Brazil. What is up? I hope everyone's home safe. Alright, there we go. Let's go full screen. I left the mic muted. All right, growing pains as we learn to stream here. The hotkey to mute it was M. The key to unmute it was U. Thank you, Sam and Chris, for texting me that I'm muted. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, here we go. So as I was just saying while I was muted, the song on the top here is the song I used back in 2016 when I edited this at the beginning of 2016, and the song on the bottom is the one I want to use. So we're gonna go through this scene, re-edit it. The song on the top just isn't too much my style anymore, but we could play it back for a little bit. Also, Diana, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that very much. Alright, yeah, we are going to replace it with something more what I use nowadays along Alright, so we got to go through all that, make that happen. So we'll go ahead and delete the song. What sucks now is that I shot all this slow-mo in 120 frames a second on the A7R2, which I thought was amazing back then because it was set, but it was 720p. So now the footage is upscaled 200% to a scale of 311 to make it fit the frame. Can I do 300? I can do 300. So I'm going to start where I know I can kind of just flow right into it. And I muted myself again. Alright, so the way I'm gonna do this, instead of moving all these clips over and then bringing them in, I'm gonna put them, once I need to move around, I'm gonna put on a track 4 up here. We will hide that for now and kind of just work our way down. Let's get the song on track 1 there. We'll mute that. Also, I just realized why I muted myself before, because I went to make a marker. And making a marker in Premiere, when you press M and you have the streaming studio open, it mutes the mic. I gotta change that shortcut. So that kind of worked out already. Trash Boy. Make a little time remap here. Go along with that respace. I don't know what I was doing with all these cuts here. Blazin, no, I do not use scripts for editing Premiere. Taryn from Linus Tech Tips is a absolute madman. He's like a whole different breed of editor. Olympera, when you download them, they come in a look and a cube file, so you get both to work with, depending on your editor and where you want to put them in the folder. So yes, they do come with cubes. Yo, my cat is knocked out. Do a little bit of a digital zoom on that one. Kind of give it a little more light. Not gonna lie, working with footage I shot so long ago and then doing everything I've done over the past few years, I'm like definitely cringing at some of this stuff, but I mean, what are you gonna do? For this being the first thing I shot on the Sony, it's not terrible. Yeah, Nicholas, this will still be up after the fact, despite all the mistakes I made in the beginning of the stream. Olympara render settings. All right, ready? Here we go. Let's break these down. Export media. If I'm doing something for YouTube, it's different than if I'm rendering out something for like a client, but we'll do like YouTube settings. So we keep it H.264, then come on down. Render at maximum depth, always check that. I typically do software encoding and leave it all to the CPU. And then here, so YouTube in 4K, the maximum bit rate they really even allow is 30 to 40 megabytes a second. So anything above that, it's going to compress down anyway, but I do it at 50 and then 2-pass. So 2-pass is more beneficial if you have a lot of noise reduction or a lot of night footage with a lot of noise. That way on the first pass, it's going to render out the majority of the heavy lifting, and then on the second pass, it'll maybe render that detail a little cleaner. So we go 2-pass, and then down here, maximum render quality, done. Only difference is if I'm exporting it for a client and delivering it to them, instead of an H.264 MP4, I render it out as a MOV file. The process that takes the longest during editing is going through all the footage, for sure. Going through all the footage, that's honestly my least favorite part of the editing process. And then the next longest would probably be kind of going through and just like trying to make the edit work, because sometimes it just does not work. Yeah, Brendan, that's the kind of person I am. I leave my PC named valued customer for, let's see, I've had this build with this version of Windows done for like 3 years now. We've got the old song still here. Now I have a bunch of interviews in here, but I think I might cut them out because they're all about the air ride system, AccuAir's air ride system, and I don't think it really fits the point of it anymore, because the whole idea was to sell more systems. Obviously that's not gonna be a thing now. Jesse, the cat is now 5 months old. Yeah. Or November, December, January. She'll be 5 months tomorrow. Yeah, this is all 4K footage aside from the slow-mo stuff. The slow-mo stuff was 1080 or 720. For the most part, if I'm using the Sony nowadays, I will leave the autofocus on. It's just so solid, especially with the kit lens. It just crushes it. But if I'm shooting with the Kit Infinity or shooting on a different camera, most of the time the autofocus system isn't as great, so you go manual focus. Babalop, thank you very much. Appreciate that. No, it's funny, you never really see 300Cs done in the States, and then you go to China and you get one on some big fat wheels on air ride. And something I wish we would get in the States here is Mark X. The name of the old song was called... Oh, let me find it in my library here. I know it's called Look At... I hit M again. How about that? I'm going to change the hotkey for that real quick. If I can remember how to. There we go. Alright, I will change mute to the comma. There we go. Thank you, Tyler, for texting me. Alright, now can I press M in peace? Yes, I can press M again. Wonderful. Thank you guys for dealing with me while I try to figure this out.
大家好，我是贾武晨，我是来自
What the hell is that? So I haven't touched this stuff at all. You know what's funny, like going back and looking at the editing of this stuff, I put like no fades or like volume adjustment on this. I just kind of like let it be raw.
Echo 的设计师，我来自 Forbidden City。我的车是一辆奔驰 C200 旅行。
Yeah, honestly, I think I might take all these interviews out. Okay, so the song is called Look at Me, but I don't know who it's by, if that helps. It's been 4.5 years since I've edited this, so I could probably find it with some work, but it might be a tough one. This closing... Alright, actually, you know what? Let's do some coloring. We'll do it of this closing scene here. Because I really, really like this closing scene. I have all this nested warp stabilizer stuff that I need to replace real quick. Because I exported this in 1080 and did the entire project in 1080, but I'd like to redo it in 4K. So we just got to take care of all that. BAP-SD, yes, they are compatible with Final Cut or DaVinci, Sony Vegas, basically any editor that will take a look or a cube file. The only thing worth noting is that Final Cut does require a third-party plugin to make the LUTs work. Let me... I just wanted to keep the battery charging on the Sony. Final Cut does require a third-party plugin like Magic Bullet or Color Finale or something like that to apply LUTs. If anyone in the chat is working with a Mac, they could probably chime in with better insight. Yeah, Kodastek Man, basically this entire thing is shot on a gimbal because I couldn't fly that much gear to China because it was super expensive. So I basically flew a camera backpack, the gimbal case, and a tripod. But the tripod I didn't even end up using, really. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove all the color on these clips, if any of it's lurking around. Here, I'll boost the mic up. How's that? I was kind of keeping it safe, but that should be better. I'll tell you guys, by the next stream, we're going to be chilling. My only concern with showing coloring of this footage is because I didn't understand the whole concept of how you're supposed to expose S-Log when I had shot this, but some of it's pretty on point, so we can go ahead and do those. Like this one is a little underexposed. This shot looks good. Simpson, I would probably say that something like can't use the number pad. Back then I wasn't too familiar with how to like show progression or tell a story or how to not rely on using one piece of equipment like a gimbal all day. Whereas nowadays I try and go gimbal, tripod, handheld, suction cup if I can. Just allows for a more exciting and diverse viewing experience. Yeah, for me, we're going to color grade this right now, as long as I find good stuff worth color grading. This is nested. Let me get the original clip real quick. I mean, I'll film with anything. It doesn't have to be like a JDM tuner car. It doesn't have to be a supercar. I really love working with them both. They both allow for different opportunities and ways to go about filming. It's kind of like oranges to apples. Alright, so even this is a little underexposed. I think this might be worth starting a new project and pulling in Tuner Evo SoCal footage. This isn't like a fair example. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, all this footage is in S-Log too, which is kind of the problem because when I had first gotten this camera, I didn't understand the rule of exposing to the right and making sure that the shot is exposed 2 stops over. So a lot of it's pretty noisy. It's going to need a lot of saving. And now we will watch Premiere freeze as it tries to close like it always does. Samsung, I used to film a lot of nightlife, funny enough. I would love to get back into that now with all the skills and kind of things I know now. Alright, we're just going to have to force close Premiere. There we go. Well, I didn't think that through and I just revealed the color of the neon on stream. Oh well. Alright, Kodasig man, I will turn up the mic and bring down the desktop audio. Thank you for the feedback. How's that? Let me know if this is better. Alright, let's get a new project going. Stream color grading. I have tweaked my S-Log settings, Tyler. Hey, by the way, what's up, Tyler? I would love to show them to you, but I'm using the Sony as the camera. And now we wait for Premiere to stop being ridiculous and open. Yo, I am so tired of Premiere. There we go. It heard me complaining. All right, let's import some good footage. All right. Yeah, the only stuff on here I think that would be a good color grade example is Tuner of Atlanta as well. But let's do SoCal. I just don't remember what I shot on each day. Let's try Friday. Import wedding footage, get out of here. I don't even know if I still have. I think I still have old weddings on like one of these. Jack, that depends on the lens that you're using. If you're using like a G Master lens, those are pretty heavy, and when you start zooming with those, the length changes a lot. So you might want to do a rebalance, but it's best to kind of balance it in the middle of the focal range. But if you're using something like a kit lens that's nice and short, you're fine with that. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got plenty of good stuff to go with here. All right, do you guys want to do the GTR or the VIP Genesis? Up to you. VIP GTR, we can go kind of more of a bleachy look. The Genesis, we can do something more warm. And then we have some night footage too. We can work with. All right, we got one vote for GTR. GTR again. All right, 3 GTRs. Oh, 1 VIP, 2 VIP, 3 VIP. All right, next one is gonna be the decider. All right, GTR it is. Oof, that was close. All right, let's pull in some footy. I don't even think I used this shot in the edit. All right, let's just drop some stuff in the timeline. I want to put a nice roller in here too. Let's see. I'm Eastern Standard Time, so it's 10:40-ish right now. I didn't use this shot yet. That was probably why. But that's pretty cool right there. What got me into editing? I mean, I guess it's like you don't really have a choice if you want to try and do video. I'm going to go from scratch, so we're not going to apply any LUTs. But one thing I will show you is that the LUT I made called Diamond is actually based off of this footage here. So if I go and apply that real quick, knock it back a little bit. That's basically the LUT I created for this scene. And if you go back and watch the edit, it looks pretty much just like that. So we can recreate that. So let's duplicate that there. All right, and then moving down the line, you got your curves. With S-Log, you'll be using these a lot. And then here is where a lot of nice color grading tips and tidbits to make your footage look good are as hue and saturation sliders. Hue versus hue, hue versus lumen, which is brightness, hue versus saturation. And then down here you got your color wheels. This is basically where you can color the look of the footage basically the same way a LUT would. This is MD Interiors GTR before he even went crazy with it. Alright, so let's say you see some footage and you want to go ahead and recreate it. Here's how we can go about doing it. So first thing you want to do is kind of just analyze the footage. What are the colors in it? What's the scenario it's in? Is it in direct sunlight? Is it sunset? Is it cloudy? Is it nighttime? So here we have a lot of contrast, a little bit of vignetting, a lot of cyans, a lot of blues, a little bit of purples. So first things first, let's just get some basic adjustments going just to correct us at S-Log. So we'll go contrast probably like 50. I don't know if I could press any of these number pad keys. Yeah. Highlights will boost a little bit. Shadows down, whites will boost, blacks will bring down. If we're going for a colder look, we're better off just bringing ourselves into a colder white balance. So we'll go -10. All right, now working with S-Log, we'll put a nice big gamma on it. Now let's compare. All right, so we're almost already there. So looking at the sky here, we're getting a shift towards green a little bit in the highlights, but down here in the shadows, it's a little more purple. So let's go to hue versus hue here, and you can use this dropper tool to select an area. You see those 3 dots there? That's basically the area in which you're going to slide your hue around in. We'll just widen it out a little bit. And then we're going to go from blue, we're going to give it a little bit of green. Slide more towards the cyan. And then down here, color wheels. Go a little bit of purple. Highlights are definitely a little bit of green, cyan. This mid-tone curve here. Off and on, so we went a little too crazy with the gamma curve there. Off and on, a little purple versus the original. Can't press the number pad. But let's say we want to go for a totally different look. How do I get people to let me shoot their cars? I mean, you just ask. That's really how you do anything, is just ask. You know, the worst thing is they could say no. All right, so let's say we want to go for a totally different look. Let's go for something warm, inviting, cheerful. So we'll warm it up a bit. Overexpose it a bit. The whole Premiere versus Final Cut thing is, I don't know. I mean, I give Chris a bunch of shit for using Final Cut, but I'm just kidding. Like, you've seen his videos, they're great. It's really all preference. I don't use a Mac, so I can't really use Final Cut. All right, so these 3 wheels down here are going to be your main tools in creating your own style, your own look. So let's say we want to go for that cheery look, which means we can do the shadows in more of a orange red. Bring it down a little bit. There's a lot of smog in LA, so we can't do much about the sky being totally gone. Now let's take that, let's apply that to here and see what it looks like. Typically you're not going to be able to copy color correction across different scenes like this without some type of adjustment. Mito Rabbi. No, these are 2 1080 monitors. I am waiting for B&H to open again. They're closed for Passover, and when they open again, I'm going to get myself a nice 4K ultra wide monitor. I think it's a little overdue at this point. Plain media, I mean, it's... Let me stop editing so I can answer this one. So, like... Lose the headphones. So when it comes to... Wow, taking off noise canceling headphones makes the world feel so different. It's a tough answer because it's like when you start... You're so cute. When you start, you're not worth charging people for. I would personally, that's how I feel, because you need experience, and you're not working for a company, you're working for yourself. And if you have no proven track record, people aren't going to be confident in hiring you. So I would start out, let's say you literally just got everything you need to film and you want to start getting clients. The first thing is you have no, like I just said, track record or portfolio, demo reel, whatever have you. So the first thing I would do is go out and find people or companies in the niche you want to work in. Let's say you want to do weddings. Let's say you want to do automotive. Let's say you want to do, maybe you want to shoot food businesses or coffee shops. So the first thing I would do is approach those type of people. Let's say a wedding, for example. See if any of your friends are getting married, see if any of their friends are getting married. I would always try and start with someone you know. That way it's not really as stressful, so to speak, as let's say your first job out is, your test shoot is working for a company that you don't know anyone at, and they don't, maybe, you're learning and the product doesn't come out fantastic. That way it's more of a personal connection. And then I would just keep doing as many of those as possible and then, what's going to happen is they're going to tell people about you, and those people are going to ask to hire you. And then those people are going to tell people about you. And then those people are going to ask to hire you. And you can start working your way up slowly. So let's say you spend $3,000 in camera gear and you are totally ready to go and you're ready to start charging clients. So my personal rule of thumb is I don't like to buy any camera gear if I can't boost what I'm charging clients to pay it back within 6 months. So you spend $3,000 in camera gear. To pay that back in 6 months is $500 a month. So let's say you get 2 weddings. And then there's your time on the day of shooting the wedding, and then there's your time editing. So your time on the day shooting, in this industry, people charge a day rate, which is essentially your rate to go out and shoot. So that's up for you to decide what it's worth. Do you want to make $25 an hour? Do you want to make $50 an hour? Or, as you go on, you can start charging $100 an hour. So let's say a wedding is 10 hours. So for me, in this day, my wedding's usually a little more than let's say a commercial automotive shoot, because it's not work I enjoy doing as much. So if I'm going to do it, I want to make more money. So a wedding shoot day for me would probably be at this point $1,500 for just the day of the shoot. And then there's the equipment charge. And then you have your editing, which when it comes to a wedding is the absolute longest part of what you're working with. That's why there's companies out there that can survive all year on doing one wedding a month, and that's it. You know. Lewis, I do use scopes, but the thing is I'm using the other monitor right now for the streaming software, so I can't really show you guys me using the scopes or use them in general right now. What's a good beginner camera to start out for car photos? I would try and find a used a nice condition Canon 5D Mark III. I love that camera. I sold it to get my A7R so I could finally start like doing 4K video and all that. But I love that camera. And at this point, in this day and age, they go for pretty cheap, and the quality's still amazing. Foreign media to color a copy grade. So to copy a color grade, I'll just show you right now. So grab the clip. This works for any effects, not just color grading as well. So you want to highlight your clip, copy, and then Control Alt V, and then it'll ask you if you want to apply the motion as well, the opacity, time remapping, or lumetri color, or whatever effects you may have, warp stabilizer, and there you go. Royal Z Production, that's pretty cool to hear. Thank you for telling me that. That's wild. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I do corporate work here and there. Like for the most part, my corporate work is also automotive. Like I've done headshots for dealerships and spoken talking head type interview stuff that would never see the light of day on any of like my channels. But aside from automotive stuff and like corporate non-automotive stuff, not too much anymore. Like I've done some stuff for an HVAC company, stuff for a bakery. If anyone here works for a bakery, like I've done stuff for Dawn Bake Products, which is a thing. But usually that's only like a few jobs a year. Do I have a spare SSD? I don't. I got plenty of spinning hard drives, but no SSDs, sorry. Nowadays, Lewis, to answer that question, I'll just show you. So hang on one sec. Enjoy the cat while I'm gone. Yo, she is knocked out. Okay. So what do I use most nowadays? So I'm using the Sony A7R2 to stream this. So I use that a lot, but I can't show it to you because it's the webcam. And then I use this. So this is the Kinefinity Terra 4K. This is a modular cinema camera. You can add extension backs to it, big batteries, takes SSD media. And then the two lenses that are pretty much on it all the time are the Canon 24-105. If you're looking for a lens to get started with, I always recommend some type of mid-range zoom like a 24-70 or 24-105 because you could just leave that on and shoot all day and get all different types of shots. And then we have a wide, which is the Sigma 18-35 1.8 art. Love that lens too. It's a little sharper than the Canon, so when it comes to matching the footage, you gotta sometimes over sharpen Canon lens stuff. Yeah, Royal Z. So basically, I just literally answered that. I don't own a Red, but I shoot it with it from time to time. Typically, rent it or it's someone else's Red. But this camera is pretty similar in the way it operates and the way you build it out. Put that there. I wish the people at Adobe would come to me because I have a lot to say to them. Jeez. PV production, if you're going to be shooting out of like a window, say, or something like that, and there's going to be a lot of wind, typically I would go into your DJI app. Let's see if I can get in there without actually being connected to a gimbal. This also works for any other gimbal because they all have settings for stiffness. Oh, hello. So you go to motor, and then you want to do auto-tune stability. Auto-tune the stability first, and then your next move would be so if you auto-tune stability and it's not vibrating, so basically the gimbal will vibrate when it's too stiff for the camera that's on it. So what you want to do is the pan, tilt, and roll, get it as high as you can without the setup vibrating. So set them all, pick it up, move it around a little bit. If it's not vibrating, go a little higher, and then once it starts vibrating, drop it back. And that's pretty much going to be your maximum ability to shoot in high wind like that. Jesse, typically, like, so for jobs for actual clients, the driver is like a PA for the day, like a personal assistant, production assistant. So they are getting paid. But when it comes to stuff like Tuner Evo, they don't have the budget for me to also pay people or any other shoot like that. Like if we're doing a feature, let's see, what can I pull up? So like this feature here, Bayside Shoot, that was just a friend of the car owner that helped me out, like Jay Cray's video. Chris and Zach Curbangers both helped me on that shoot, not paid, like no one made any money from that shoot. And then you have stuff like, well, none of my real like client work ends up here. So, but I don't know, a lot of times it's just friends. PC setup, I do want to upgrade the motherboard and the CPU because they are getting a little old. The CPU is Intel i7 6700K, and the motherboard is an Asus Prime Z170A. I would like to get I think I might go AMD at this point and get a 3950X with like ROG Strix motherboard. And then we have a MSI GTX 1660 Ti and SSD for the operating system. Oh, cat's getting up. Okay, she's gonna sit there. Play Media, if you're around New York, New Jersey, you're absolutely can PA one of the shoots for sure. Mito Rabi, like, so you're saying you're just worried about not being able to expose it correctly, like, and just bumping the ISO really high? Olimpara, the biggest difference between 24 and 30 is the motion, the way the footage looks. So, like, 24, like, any movie you watch, any Netflix series, anything like that, they're all shot in 24. 24 is the staple of what's cinematic. 30, you're gonna typically, that's any footage you see from a phone or just any regular video. Basically those 6 frames a second allow for a lot more of a smoother motion, but if you're looking for the cinematic look, that's not what you want. If you're not getting sharp clips around sunset with autofocus, you might want to try setting for manual focus and doing it manually. So like we have clips here during sunset. I want to say I had autofocus on though. I think this is 1080 footage in 60p. Yeah. Alright, so like, let's size this up. So oh, can't press that button. Alright, so this is 60 frames a second, not slowed down. So this is what it looks like. So you can see it's like very smooth. It almost looks cartoony. But if I slow it down, we get that cinematic goodness. Oh my goodness. No. Come here. Nope. Nope. Just trying to play with the computer monitor wires. I need you to hang out. Okay. There we go. Boop. Alright, so you're asking about like exposing or after the fact in the edit. Let's see, we do have some night footage here. I want to say that this was definitely shot at a pretty high ISO, probably 6400. Let's see. I mean, there's not too much you can do about noise. There's a little bit you can do with the way you're going to do the contrast curve and really crush it on the bottom end. So let's see if we can pinpoint the noise here. A D5500, D3500 for car photos? Absolutely. Any camera will yield you good results for car photos. Any camera with interchangeable lenses, no problem. Alright, so let's make this a little bigger for you guys. So this was probably with the kit lens. You can definitely see a very good noise pattern going on here. So if it's so bad that crushing the blacks down, so you make your standard S curve, and then down here at the bottom you have a pinpoint. You can drag this up to get more of like the faded kind of like Instagram look, or if you drag it this way, it's going to really crush down the blacks. If you look up here, so you will lose detail, but you'll also lose noise, all this noise here. And then a plugin I love for noise reduction, if I still have it installed, yes, Neat Video, amazing. Mr. Purple, no, I don't like put them in the NAS or anything. They literally just go in this here, which is like a 3.5-inch drive toaster, basically a 2-bay. For me, I only work on one project or 2 projects at a time, so those live on an SSD in the computer, and then rarely do I need to access them after the fact. Like I'm accessing them right now to do this stream, but I really only need stuff off one drive at a time. So for me, having network attached storage just isn't really necessary, at least right now. Alright, let's open up Neat Video here, and you guys can get like a little before and after. I don't think Sony's 120 frames a second out of the A7S look very good, because it punches it on the sensor and everything gets a little overly sharp. This plugin is very CPU intensive, so if you do not have a good, like at least I'm working with it on a 4-core right now, and it's kind of a pain. So I would definitely at least recommend like a 6-core CPU to use this plugin. Alright, so here we have the application. Let's open this up. Cool. It doesn't like me very much right now. Yeah, Premiere just gave up. Oh, here we go. Okay. So here is the interface of Neat Video. So first thing you'll do is auto profile. And then we have noise filter settings over here. Let's jump back here. Basically, you're going to pick where in the image you want to pull the noise from for it to get the data. I don't like to do anything with too much exposure because there's less noise there. So we'll do something up here. You don't want something totally black, but something with some information to work with. All right, so we'll auto profile that. Then we can jump over to noise filter settings. We always put this on high. The radius I put on 1 because if you put it too high, then it starts to look very artificial. I guess that's the best way I could say it. And then we'll jump over to this tab here, quality, highest possible. Luminance, probably put it at like 20. Remove artifacts, leave the noise level at 0 here. General, if you want to blend it in with the original and kind of put some noise back in, you can do that. So we'll look at the original and the clean one, and we'll apply that. Next big video will be released next Friday. So we got a whole week until then. I might put something out earlier next week, but it won't be anything like too big, so to speak. Oh yeah, like I said, very CPU intensive, especially with the live stream right now. Okay, there we go. So we have our before here and after. So let's zoom in, take a nice look at it. We'll put them on top of each other here. Well, it kind of contradicts all the rendering I just did. Saab and Volvo were cool. I would love like a for an SUV. Editing contest? No, nothing planned right now. Alright, so this is a preview of the footage. So all these artifacts are just they're not in your actual, like, baked in your final footage. So let's look here at the original. So you can see all this noise pattern in the door here. And then if we jump to the clean one, huge difference. This might be a little too much overdone, so we could always go back and knock the settings down a bit to make it look a little more natural. But I love this plugin, Neat Video. If you're going to use it, definitely give yourself an entire day to just use it because it is very CPU intensive. It does take a lot of time. Kit lens, I just love it. It's always sharp. It's always like spot on with the autofocus. It looks good. I'm not too big of like a bokeh person, so for me, getting like a G Master with a 2.8, just I never really felt the need for it. Ronin S is definitely a good gimbal. I mean, I don't play with the one-handed gimbals too much. I had a Crane 3 for a while. I have a Weeble S that I've been meaning to play with. But I've seen people rig out the Ronin S to work with like Reds and Ursa Minis. So I think one maybe stock isn't really too great, but once you kit it out with some accessories, like you'll be good to go. Alright, so let's grade this a bit. This was under some fluorescent street lights, so you could see how terribly green it is. So if you ever want to correct that, and you could just grab that little dropper tool, it's best to find something as close to white as possible. So we can punch in here. That's way too warm. But we know which direction we need to go. We need to warm it up a bit and put some purple in the image. Can't press the number pad. I haven't looked at this footage in a long time. Wonder what the original grade looks like. Yamakasi, so basically all my stuff is on these guys right here. Let me make that bigger. My preferred brand to work off of is the Toshiba X300 6 terabytes. Or if I can get them in 8 for a good deal, I'll get the 8. And then, so I use these as my primary backup, so my first backup source. And then my second backup source are these WDs here. Basically, those are the WDs external drives that come in these cases like that. And then I just remove the plastic casing, and you're left with just the drive. So this is a 12 terabyte here. And then we have an 8, and there's a 10 back here too. But that's my second source of a backup. So what we're working with right now, this Tuner Evo SoCal footage, that's working off the second backup drive, and then we have the first ones here. We should edit like a little banger right now. Let's see how fast we can do it. So the show is on Saturday, I think. No, the show is on Sunday. I can't remember what day the show was on. Let's get a clip in here to find out. Okay, this is the show. I will definitely save this live. It'll be up. And I think we'll probably let's try and do this like once a week maybe. I'm also going to bring it over to Twitch and try and stream more there as well. All right. My cat is trying to get into the giant bag of cat food that's in there. While we import that, let me get her. Hey. Come here. Oh. There you go. Alright, so let's try and edit a little banger right now. Let's get a song. Let's see. I used this for an Instagram clip sometime last year. Alright, let's use this guy. Stream setup, so we have an A7R2 right there with the Sony kit lens on it, and then that is HDMIing out to an Elgato Camlink HDMI to USB. We have this snowball mic. I do want to upgrade the mic and get like a table mounted one because this looks a little cheesy. Then we have up top a 500 LED light, and then back here we have the same thing with just some pink gel on it for a little bit of, you know, accent light. Alright, let's find some good clips to work with. I should have made a separate folder before I imported that stuff. Yeah, let me get rid of all that. Nope. Not all of it. Alright, so let's make a nice wide screen. Hey, what's up, Ken? How you doing? Get that footage out of here. Import fresh. For personal YouTube stuff, I just like typically hit up the producer and say, hey, can I use this for YouTube video? Okay, no problem. Commercial client stuff, always use some type of service. So something like Soundstripe, Epidemic Sounds. So to kind of increase this vertigo effect on this, we'll toss a little digital zoom in there. So typically I like to cut my footage when it comes to songs like this on the downbeat. So basically when you have a 4-bar measure, so 1 EN, a 2 EN, a 3 EN, a 4, the downbeat is going to be your second and fourth. So we got so I typically like to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, but typically that doesn't leave too much time to actually like see the car. So let's try this. Pull a little more footage from this way. Yeah, Ken, if shows even happen this year, I'll probably be at a few Tunariba ones. I'd like to get out to something different as well. Yeah, we're doing velocity curves on this right now. So this right here. This was not on a skateboard. Yeah, you can see a little bit of kind of like steps in it. So when it comes to editing, I never typically work in like a start at the beginning, go all the way to the end in an orderly fashion. I just try and, if I see a clip that I feel like works for a certain part, I'll just drop it in and kind of fill the timeline that way. Yeah, Spirit Driven Gaming, I know Springfest did get moved. I can't remember what the new date is. Let's see. It is now going to be August 30th. So it's way out there. May, June, July, August, 3 months later. But I will most definitely be there. So I was just trying to find like clips with similar motion for that. Keep that like falling effect. I mean, when it comes to your editing software, it's whatever you're the most comfortable using. There are much more powerful tools for color grading in Premiere versus Sony Vegas. I did use Vegas when I first got started. It honestly isn't a bad editor, but the lack of updates and new features, and it's not really something you'll be able to work with in a cross-compatibility form with other people, because at this point it's not really something that's used as much in the industry. So if you're going to be collaborating with anyone else, it's not a good place to put yourself. Reverse that, keep the forward motion going. Oh, you know what? Let's nest that. Yeah, I would say filming rollers is probably one of my most favorite things to film. There's a lot of logistical things that go into it beforehand that I find the most exciting part. Like kind of like playing the route, what happens if you get separated, what exit you need to get off, areas you should avoid because of traffic, things like that. Just like the rush of all that is really fun. The laptop I use on the go, I hate editing on a laptop, but it is this here. It's the Asus. It's like a random name of numbers and letters. Q524U. It's not bad. It has a GTX, I want to say 970M in it. 12 gigs of RAM. And a decent 4-core Intel processor. I'll turn the desktop audio down. One frame is not enough. I want to say this indoor stuff was shot in Cine 4. Cine 4 is great. Like, if you don't have a lot of time to play with coloring and you need to turn something around, Cine 4 is definitely the way to go. And for night footage as well. Just gonna get the cursor. Yep. All those shots of gauges like in cars are done when the car is not moving. Typically that's like super zoomed in on the instrument cluster and like just revving the car. Nowadays you can get yourself a decent editing rig for like $1,000, and it'll do 4K for you, no problem. Actually, like I just put together like an $800 one for a friend of mine. Yeah, definitely 4K for night footage all day, because if by chance you're doing like a 1080 export, you're able to crunch that down, hide the noise a lot better. But I mean, if you're able to just shoot 4K anyway, I would always just do it. Nope. Easy. There you go. Nope. Having a cat is honestly so great, but she does this like every night. Oh, okay. Ow. Ow. Alright. Come on. I'm really gonna need you to not do that. There you go. Okay. What is up, Art? Oh my goodness. She just really needs to have the window string. Come on. Always export 4K for sure. But I mean, you don't. Oh my goodness. You don't need it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just gonna try and go for it again. Nope. Watch her hit the hard drive and just disconnect the whole project. Come on. You really don't need that. There you go. Lay in your bed. Alright. Let's try something cool here. Now when it comes to upscaling footage, typically, at least in my opinion, you can get away with like, as long as you don't hold it there, I think you can get away with like a 20% increase. So let's do a little something wonky here. She's back. Alright. We'll just let her do her thing. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Please just don't hit the hard drive. Oh, don't step on the hard drive. The hard drive's making a noise now. Nope. You've literally never cared about those that much before. Yikes. Nope. Nope. Go back down. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I export 4K for Instagram. Honestly, like, I just export the same exact thing that I would for YouTube and then just cut it down on my phone and post it that way. Although Instagram does downscale the 4K to 1080 like a little weird. Like if there's something with a lot of lines in there, it's gonna alias a little bit. Alright, which way did I go on the rotation? I went negative, so let's go like -5 or something. What's up, Brazil? We have a lot of toys for this cat, none of which she chooses to play with when she can play with the things to pull the window. Yeah, quarantine definitely got her, like, yeah. You ain't kidding. Okay, this edit's definitely getting somewhere. Yo, Alfonso, what's up, man? On the clap, maybe let's do a little push in and jump cut. So we'll go 100 to 105. And then we'll get those people out of there. Then we'll go 105 to 110 on the scale. Okay. Would have been nice if I did it on the part I actually wanted to do it on. Oh man. Alright, right there. Oh, camera is gone. Okay. Okay, I think the battery just died. And we're back. All right. We just need to focus. All right. There we go. Thank you for that. All right. What do you guys think of this edit so far? Should we do something else or just keep going with this one? You let me know what you want to see. I'm hanging out. Alright, Jack, so the zoom is this. So there's a jump cut between the shot. So we have, this is all one take. So we just selected a bunch, took it out. So we go from here to here. And then on the transition, we're at regular scale, no zoom. And then we move over 1, 2, 3. And then the scale goes to 105. So here we go. 100 on this clip, goes to 105 on the same clip, and then the jump cut happens, and then we're at 105, and then 1, 2, 3 frames, 110. So it does like a push as it does the jump cut, so it makes the jump cut less jarring, and also gives it more of a zoom. All right, for those kicks. Let's see if we could find like all front end shots. All right, that's a little much. Oh, we got a front end shot. Ah, man. Thought we had one. I don't know. I'm not personally a fan of adjustment layers. Like, if I could just get it done on the clip, I'll just do it that way. Might need to import some other footage. Yeah, let's import our first folder here. As soon as this is done importing, I'll show you for him. All right, so where is that clip? Here it is. So simple enough. You have your rotation here. You'll press this button to make a keyframe, and then go to the very end of the clip. Press that again to add another keyframe, and then we're going from, this clip was filmed upside down, so that's why the rotation's at 180. So you just pick your value of your first value and then your second value, but because it's rotating, if I did not scale in, you would get all those black edges, so you need to scale in when you start rotating. Yeah, this 90% sure this was S-Log. I thought it was Cine 4, but nah, you're definitely right. Hey, what's up, Japan? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see if we can find a front end clip. Oh, or actually, I like this a lot. Maybe? Maybe not. Nah. Oh, there we go. I'll definitely take shooting a feature over a show, without a doubt. You can be way more creative with a feature. Cat is under the desk. Hey, what are you doing? Can you come out? Come on. Come on. Go in your bed. She almost pulled the plug on us. Yeah, it is really nice being able to shoot at ISO 200 with the Cine 4, and the color's so good out the gate. The only thing I would suggest is in the color settings, moving your reds positive, which gets it away from the orange a bit, because the reds do tend to have like an orange hue to them. If you go in the color settings, there's individual adjustment for each color band. Alright, let's get like a nice little intro clip. Let's put a grade on it real quick. We'll use one of ours, let's see. Indoor 1, not gonna do it. Indoor 2. We can go indoor 1 and correct for that purple. Sharpen it to 20. I leave my detail in camera on -7, then I sharpen like 20% after the fact. Let's see if we can copy paste all that. No, not even close. I do like the dark look, I'm not gonna lie. See, that this is what I'm talking about, the Sonys in general, whether it's Cine 4 or S-Log. This car is red, not orange. So let's fix that real quick. You can do it one of two ways. You can do it with this bar here. So basically you'll take hue versus hue get your dropper and move that over a little bit. It's not going to be enough because of how far gone the Sony reds are, but then you could drop down to your HSL secondaries, get your dropper, color mask. I left the camera on the wrong one. Let me reset here. So this car, this Evo, is red. This footage makes it look orange, and that's just the way Sony is. So you can go about it one of two ways. Get the dropper here, select, and it'll make the points for you of where the center of that color is. And just drag, oh wait, this is hue versus saturation, sorry. Thank you, Tyler. There we go. Drop our hue versus hue box here and slide up a bit. You can see it go from, see if I go really dramatic with it, you could change the entire color. But we just need to get this red, so we slide up a little bit. And then down here, HSL secondaries, get your dropper tool. Pop that on. Use this to create a mask. You can see, does it go like that? Basically, whatever's showing here is showing you what's going to be affected by your change. So if I go like this, we're going to get too much information. So just like that. And so we need to make this red a bit. So let's take the mask off. And so here we start. There we go. So by adding a ton of like red, pink, and dropping the exposure overall, we're able to correct that. So I'll show you before, after. This car is looking a little greenish. Just need to add a little. Like greenish yellow. I don't know, it's hard to describe. But it's naturally more like, I remember seeing it in person, it was like more like that, guess you could say. This needs to be a little lower. Alright, let's get a little intro. And I'm going to call it For the Night, my dudes. Maybe not. Don't want to get the stream reported for, you know. So I pulled the color from the other clip with red in it, this one here of the Evo. That way we don't have to do it again for this guy here. Yeah, man, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What do I consider a build? I think because of the internet, there's a lot of hate and opinion towards people who call their cars builds, but rightfully so sometimes because, all right, so let's face it, wheels and in bags or coils or what have you is not a build. You know, it could be a work in progress, which is fine. I think it's all about the way that person puts it out there in the world. So like if I bought, let's say, a new Audi S3 and I put on some rotiforms and bags, I wouldn't go out there saying like, just finish my build. What do I consider a build? I consider a build something like this Civic. This Civic is incredible. So we got some Volk T37s repainted, totally like OEM restoration. And I mean, a build doesn't have to be to that level. I do have a shot of this Civic's engine bay somewhere. If I find it, I'll show you. But the bay is like individual throttle bodies, shaved bay. But it doesn't have to be that extreme to be considered a build. Let me find something more. So like Dorn's car is an example of the most prominent modifications being wheels, tires. But at the same time, he also has the roll-of-face big brake kit, total paint job, a bunch of carbon accents that are really hard to get for that car. A lot of custom body work, so like this is a build too. So it doesn't need to be on the level of totally taking an older car and restoring it, but it can be a newer platform that has more into it that doesn't meet the eye. Yeah, Alfonso, you're not the only one there. Footage is looking a little purple. Gotta remember, I gotta change the number pad shortcuts for the streaming software. Yeah, this is Tuning Evo SoCal 18. We just kind of threw this on just to like play with a bit. Chris, why are you on the iTouch iPods account? Alright, so we'll toss a little Zoom Boy. And we'll do the same here. Oh, but it has the time remapping on it. Never mind. Alright, let's run this real quick. Ooh. Music videos I've worked on with Mike. I've only worked on, I think, 2 with him, and one was an Eric Dingus. I forget the name of the other artist, but it was Eric Dingus and someone else for Dream Sequence Records. That was back in 2016, 2015, sometime. But he moved to LA, so I don't even get to see him that much anymore. But he's crushing it. I'm proud of him. Alright, there we go. Would I add that in like a half hour or something? I'll export that in case I post it. Look at that. You can see one of my projects called What the Fuck Premiere. Wonderful. I would love to do another competition. It was just a ton of work when we did the last one, which I have no problem with, but like I really want to use this time under quarantine to work on new endeavors, so to speak. Oh, definitely not 1 megabyte a second. 30. There we go. Like since this whole like quarantine thing went down, I've written like 4 or 5 songs so far that I want to put together for videos in the future. I just kind of want to like use my time more like that, I guess. Ahmed, I learned everything basically on my own. And then when you get to the point where you start working with other people, you learn a ton through other people. But no, I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for business and I dropped out my senior year. I think my cat finally laid down. Tight. What inspired the Lucky Cat as my logo? Basically, I mean, I have a tattoo one here. I've always, like, ever since I was like 11, I was collecting like Lucky Cat figurines. And I know when I just like wanted a logo for all this, I knew I wanted it to be nothing that had to do with cars or like photo and video, because I wanted it to look totally unique to itself. Oh, what's up, Yoshi? How you doing? That's not a question I'll answer on stream, but hit me up on Facebook and we can talk. I don't know right now. You know. Hey, Who the Works was good. Alfonso, I did see that you bought a house. That's fucking killer, dude. Is it in Maryland, Philly? I don't know where you're at nowadays. All right, that is edited. Let's close that out. Whew. All right. Yep, it's gonna freeze. Saw that coming. And I just revealed the paint color of the car again. Oh well. How long would it take to edit a 5-minute video? A long time. But I don't know, it depends on the groove. If I'm in like a good groove, I can get it done in a day and a half maybe. There we go. I could keep it going. What can we get into? I can show you guys some tunes I'm working on. Justin, I'll let you know I do have to go. Oh, what's up? I didn't know you're in here. We can't even like go to a restaurant and sit down. What are you talking about? Personal favorite car brand is Lexus. And no, not even remotely close do I make a living off YouTube. Oh, Mike just got in the chat too. Dang. What's up, Mike? Alright, let's see some tunes here. Bro, I am not sitting my ass down inside a supermarket. You're out of your mind. Longest I've ever spent to edit a video, weeks. Weeks of like working 6 hours a day. Alright. This track is going to be dropping soon in a friend's video. If you guys are familiar with Jay Cray with the Lexus LC500, he also shoots video, and we have this one dropping. Oh wait, not this one. This one. I have written this track that we're opening right now for one of his videos. I can let this ride out and just chat it up. So yeah, that's a little synthwave joint that we're making for him, and then we have this is an old one. Basically, something I want to do soon is create a pack of music that is royalty free for other YouTubers for a reasonable price. That way, you guys have royalty free music for your videos, and all the songs that are in it are things that have good features about them to edit to. So that's something I want to try and get out maybe by the end of the month. This is an old one that needs to be refinished before we do it. Yeah, it's respaced. Not in the synthwave one, but the sub in this one's out of tune. do remember those days. Alright, then we got this one that'll be a part of that music pack as well. If anyone can point out where this sample is from, you win. I don't know, a cookie. Whoa, Kieran, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Yo, I got all the ball train. Alright, yeah, so that's another one. Goes into the third drop. Yeah, that's a whole bunch of that. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. I have to shorten the bars for him because it's like a little too long, but yeah. Should we just look at memes together? I don't know. I don't feel like ending the stream. Alright, be careful with my browser history though. No, I think I'm good. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna wrap this one up for tonight. This will definitely be a thing that's happening more common going forward. Also setting it up on Twitch, so links in the description for Twitch. Join me over there. Chris is going to be streaming soon on Twitch as well. Yeah, I would like to do this as often as I can. It's just hard when we're shooting and editing full time to set up all the camera gear to do the stream. But as of right now, we're chilling. Let's see. Let's close it out with some memes. I don't know where to get good car memes though. Alright, someone let me know where to get good car memes, because right now I just have Google. Oh, what about the mechanic memes? We should definitely do a cross stream. Pause. Mina Rabi, you have a good morning, or I don't know if you're going to bed or you're starting your day, but whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Alright, yeah, all these memes I'm finding are like super like Facebook mom status. We'll do like a meme review in the future. Sticker boost on Instagram. Thank you. You guys weren't supposed to see what color the car is going to be, but whatever. Oh well. There's only 60 of you in here, so it's all good. Okay, this is hilarious. Okay, these guys make stickers. Yo, the truth right now in that one. This is sick. I saw this today. But all that to pull like a non-drifting 240 around, I don't know. For speakers, I use M Audio BX50. BX5. Yes. M Audio BX5 in the carbon, because why not? Yeah, they're killer, because I've also heard KRK Rockets, the Yamaha HS5s, and the Yamaha HS5s are very bassy, and the Rockets are very high-end dominant, but I found these ones were like perfect in the middle range. If you go to Guitar Center, they do have a room set up where you can plug your phone in to listen to stuff, and you can like toggle through all the speakers. Okay. Yeah. Alright, some of these are kind of like Facebook mom memes. I don't know. See, like, this is true, because everyone does that, but it's just so cringy. Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Guys, I really need to get into the gist of, like, smoothing out streaming, but next time we'll get it soon. We'll get it down, don't worry. Yeah, and just like I said, we're done for tonight. Thank you guys all for joining. This will definitely be a more common thing. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you later. Peace.